brand new time slot, which is between 4 and 5 every Monday, which is why we say we want to start your week. And this month, we are starting your week with the Sherré DeMao, founder and CEO of Biz Growth Inc. She is the maestro of solutions for entrepreneurs. Or if you know this show well and have listened for a while, Julie and I call her number one. Number one, thank you for being here.
It is an absolute pleasure, and it's exciting to be part of the first show at this time slot.
You are the first co-host.
I feel very privileged, absolutely privileged.
Well, you should be. I mean, if you can't get the title number one and get some privileges for it.
Thank you, buddy. Appreciate it.
So, tell everybody what Biz Growth Inc. is if they don't already know. Because, with a new time slot,
sure,
we got some brand new listeners.
I love it. So Biz Growth Inc. is, the name kind of says it all, but let me explain it more. It's really about growing a company of profitability, of value and worth. That's how I like to just describe it. It's about taking a company that might be stagnating to the next level. It might be taking it to its next aspect of differentiation with the next idea. We specialize in entrepreneurial enterprise. That's my passion. Our company will be 40 years old next year. Can you believe that?
Whoa.
Isn't that crazy?
You and I are getting old.
Yes, no, we're not. We're getting younger every day, Joe. What are you talking about? And remember, I want to live to be 123. So I just reached midlife right now. But we focus on making a company sustainable, making their people engaged and high performing. We are strategists at the enterprise level. So the article I brought is around strategy because so many businesses don't understand what that really is.
So one of the things, the story I love telling people is I asked you years ago if you would help me and Julie kind of define what it is that that I do. Mm-hmm. And I remember you coming to me and saying, okay, well, I'm going to need a list of all your past clients, current clients. I'm like, whoa. I just want a sexy slogan. I don't need all that. And you said, well, Joe, I don't think you understand what I do. Mm-hmm. And it wasn't until you said it to me, and then I read a few more of your books, right? Mm-hmm. And we'll talk about those in a minute, that I realized what your real skill set is. You are an absolute maestro at research. Mm-hmm. I mean, you don't say or do anything except when you're picking on me. And that still has some research attached to it, right? You know what I mean?
Unfortunately, it does. We got some track record here. That's right.
So research really is the core of what you do, and then you apply it to whatever you think your client needs.
It really is in everything we do. I have this right brain, left brain thing going on that has driven how the company approaches everything it does. And I really am a research geek. I really am, because and the real key thing here is, and I think you understand it because of the research that we did with your company, and now what we do on a national level to validate what works and what doesn't, what makes sense and what doesn't. And now we all know. You just look at the political environment. You can make a market research, prove anything you want. Okay, prove anything you want. But that doesn't necessarily mean it's validating what is best. And so what we focus on is validating what is truly in the best practices, the best approaches, the best interest of businesses growing and performing and sustaining their growth year over year.
And so I want listeners to hear this, right? Because it's really important, because you really did amaze me, right? After you did all the research, which I hated that you did all that research, and I hated you talked to all of my past and current and future clients. But when it was over with, one of the things you said was, Joe, they really want to hear from you more often. They want to know why nobody is called about their business.
Right.
And of course, I said to you what I know any other broker would have said. Well, don't you think if I had something to tell them, I would have called them? I mean, it's not like I'm holding back a buyer on them, right? So once I had, then you said, Joe, but I don't think you understand. They really want to know what's happening.
And they wanted to know, they don't understand your process, right? And so by letting them in on the inside of, okay, here's what's happened, here's what's happening, here's why things aren't happening, it gave them a peace of mind that something was happening, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And it's through that we came up with what we call a Sub Rosa report. I'm sorry I didn't ask your opinion on the name of the report.
Okay.
It's actually named after my boat, you understand. And my first boat, which was named Rose Petals, so now it's Sub Rosa. But anyway. So for those of you who don't know, it means under the rose. So
I know someone who can trademark that for you.
That's right. We're going to talk about that in a minute. But the point that I'm making is that this Sub Rosa report now goes out about every 3 to 6 months, depending on the client, right? And gives them detailed information on what it is that they want. But so that was a whole operational thing that you provided for us.
Exactly.
That I didn't hire you for, Sherré. I don't need you to tell me how to be a broker, but in fact, you did need to tell me what my clients wanted, right?
Right. And I guarantee you it set you apart from other brokers as a result.
And you went right where I wanted to go,
Yeah.
which was I now can market the fact that I'm giving them information that I know they're not getting from somebody else.
Yeah.
And that's what I want people to understand. It's the research first, so that you now know what to market that actually works.
You know,
and a lot of times it rubs up against operations.
It has to. One of the things that I say all the time is that there is a disconnect between marketing and operations. People think that operations must operate on a day-to-day basis, and marketing happens when you need to market. Well, no. Both of them need to happen, and customer relations is a part of marketing relations and a part of operations too. So very important to understand that.
So I want everybody to hear that when I talk to Sherré and we call her number one, there's a reason she is number one. And so I love our number one. And, on a personal note, whenever I need something, I call number one. When I wanted somebody to review the essay that my son had to do for college, I called number one. My wife said, "Who is this woman that you're going to send this to?" I said, "Don't worry, I'm going to send it to Sherré." So, it is important every week that the co-host brings something that we can talk about. And I know most people, I say, go to the Google and get something and let's talk about it.
Yeah.
But you are the Google, because I know that you write your own stuff, right?
Yeah.
And I wanted to talk about that because it's one of the things I think about now that I use the Terminator. Julie taught me the whole chat thing, right?
Yeah.
You know how I write. Right?
Yes, yes, I do.
But now I can be a master.
Yes, you can.
Because I can use the chat.
Yeah,
right.
ChatGPT.
How does that affect someone like you? I'm curious because
it's
before you
interesting.
never needed it, right?
Yeah.
But a guy like me, matter of fact, I'll just tell you this. I never sent anything out before I first sent it to my wife, right?
Good, yeah.
Well, after Julie taught me about this whole chat thing, which I call the Terminator, I told my wife, I said, she's obsolete. I just don't need her anymore.
But if I recall, you do need her to wake you up sometimes. So it's really good that it's at 4:00 now in the afternoon.
That's right. But I'm curious, somebody like you that knows how to write and content matters.
Well,
how's
but here's
this
the
affected
thing,
you?
it's really interesting. I am all about leveraging technology to be more efficient. But it still isn't going to replace. And I have the beauty of having a daughter who just graduated with AI robotics degree. And, and she's one of those creating all she's going to be the one creating all that's happening now, but it's a wild, wild west right now. And so for one particular client, we started having ChatGPT generate social media. However, I'll give you an example. Okay, so ChatGPT, we wanted to do something different than everybody else in the environmental health and safety industry around 4th of July. But ChatGPT, now think about this, environmental health and safety, keeping workspaces safe, all right? And ChatGPT came up with explosive solutions. I don't think you want explosive solutions from an EHS company. And so it still requires editing and truly understanding. So I said, we don't. We might ignite the right solutions, but we do not create explosive solutions. I don't think OSHA would like that. So that kind of helps you understand that
right.
it, do not, anyone who's using it, you better be proofreading and editing it, because
Right.
it could sting you big time if you don't pay attention to a word or two in there.
Right.
Right. Just don't say, okay, done. Big mistake.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, so what article did you prepare for us
Okay, so
today? Because I'm looking at it here.
okay, you are. So I thought, because of our guest coming later, that I really wanted to talk about strategy, and I did a blog. Actually, it's my Biz Growth 5.0 blog, and I originally did this in 2016 and felt that it needed to be revisited again. So 8 years later now, right? And it kind of plays off of the idea of being rained on or whatever, but it's about is your strategy protecting you enough? And so you like bullet points. I'm going to say the five.
I tell you, I know that bothers you sometimes.
Oh, not at all. I'm
Okay,
about bullet
okay.
points too. You don't realize about me, but I'm all about the bullet points.
Okay.
So the 5 things, because it's always about 5 things. It's the reason that a strategy can protect you better is it helps you focus and make better decisions. It helps you better vision for the long term from a standpoint of your company. It helps you have a better action plan. Businesses, think an action plan or a to-do list is your strategy. Half the time it is not. It's built from the strategy. Okay, it helps with better differentiation, because any business in the world, we just talked about it with ChatGPT, can be commoditized now.
Right.
Any business. Okay, so you better figure out how to differentiate yourself, and then it gives you better understanding of how to spend your money more effectively and more wisely.
Listen to you, and I took a quick read of
Sure.
this before the show. One of my biggest problems for small business people is the problem that they have with trying to create this strategy and move in this direction is they don't have somebody like you to do the research to make sure they're
Exactly.
moving in the right direction. So they're always ready to move on a dime because they
Yes.
never know when the choice and decisions they made were wrong. Now, for a guy like me, it's easy to say they, because I mean I, right? Like, I'm that guy.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm they, right?
Yeah.
And I made a lot of very successful decisions. I remember, I had a partner of mine. He said, Joe, man, I swear your decisions, you're like a hero or a zero. And it bothered him.
That's a great line. Hero
Yeah.
is zero. Yeah. Yeah.
And me, I'm okay with all or nothing, right? Like, that's who Joe is, right? It really isn't a good strategy when
No,
you
it isn't.
absolutely
So
want
many
to build
businesses-
a business.
Yes, it isn't, because most business owners do the fire, aim, ready. Okay, that's what most of them do, and so they're making decisions, and they're also making decisions. It's literally almost from a peer pressure standpoint, or not even peer pressure, opportunity pressure. Okay, and so when you have a solid strategy, then that you can look at and know your geographic footprint, where those geographic pockets of opportunity are, who your ideal market is, what are your most profitable offerings, right?
Right.
Okay, if you know all of these things, then when somebody comes knocking on your door saying that they've got the best thing since, sliced bread, or the best mousetrap or whatever to promote or, give exposure to your business, you can look at that strategy and you can say, nope, not my market. Nope, not my geographic area. Nope, not the right exposure. Or you can say, yes, that's the perfect opportunity for us. Without question, without any hesitation, it guides you in making better decisions.
So let me ask you a question. Matter of fact, I think I sent you my brother for this
Yes, yeah.
issue. So many very skilled, successful business people cannot generate leads online.
Right.
They hear that it's being done, right? You know what I mean? They've been told that they can do it, right? And they've even been told by people that they can make it happen. But it is very, very difficult. I mean, I have some friends with some tremendously successful businesses, and they'll tell me the number one thing that they just cannot understand how other companies are generating leads through online sales or online concepts, because they don't get it.
Right,
They
right.
can't make it happen.
Well, and there's so much combination to it. That goes back to my return on referral logic, and that is that where you're going to get the greatest opportunity for referrals that literally become customers. Like 95% chance they're going to become a customer when they land on your, let's say they land on your website. Your website, the internet, is a referral mechanism because of how you show up. But how you show up is dictated by strategic involvements, by content you create, really important content that you create, by how frequently that website is updated, by how your company is involved in other spaces directly with target market opportunities. So, those, and of course the algorithms, you hear it all the time, that's changing constantly. So if your website isn't a living, breathing mechanism, I consider your website the virtual facility of your business along with a physical facility. That's how important it has become.
That's interesting that you say that. I don't know if it was you or somebody else said your website is actually your front door.
Oh, it's absolutely a first impression in many cases. Going back to customer interviews, every time we've ever talked to customers and asked them of a client of customers of clients, clients of clients, and we asked them if they've been to the website. The last time they were at the website is when they first started working with them.
Right.
They don't go back unless there's a reason to go back.
Right.
And so you also have to think about reasons to go back so that customer keeps you top of mind that you're already working with, and then forward somebody like content that you created or a tip that you had or something like that. And then what's really powerful is, depending on the business too, there's the whole reviews game too. But that's more consumer related than business, but it's becoming into the business aspect.
You just interestingly said something, which is my website, I'm B2B, right? Which is what we'll talk about in this case.
Yeah.
My website should be communicating to my current clients.
Oh, heck yes.
Because it's probably going to attract future clients, right? That's interesting.
Oh, no, you need to be speaking to both. Again,
I've never thought of it that way.
And how can your website be a service factor that gets them coming back? Okay, so then they're reminded of what you do as well.
Interesting.